The S23 Ultra has been out for 4 months now, and it just keeps getting better. And that's something that as an owner or a prospective buyer, you really want to see from a company, that they're dedicated to continuous improvement in the quality of their products. So the S23 Ultra, a big update coming. And I've actually been surprised. Google beat them to the punch 2 months in a row. So good for Google. Samsung, well, I mean, they don't own Android, so it's not that big of a deal. Yes, it's good that it gets here this month, but they don't have a habit of continually releasing them on the first Monday of the month. Not trying to snub anybody. Just want to put some reflective context on this. So the S23 Ultra has a 2.2 gigabyte update coming. 2.2 gigs. That's a lot. Very substantial. And there's quite a few things that it's aimed at fixing. So in addition to 4 months of great continuous operation, we've got excellent phone. Like basically the best consumer smartphone you can probably get that has an Android operating system on it. For most folks. I mean, I really miss my Sony Xperia 1 Mark V, but considering the fact that you can get one of these brand new unlocked for $974, most people I'm probably going to steer towards this phone and not Sony. So, a couple of things that have been confirmed that are coming this update. We're actually getting a 2x zoom for portrait. Yes, so if you want to do portrait mode, take some portrait photos, 2x zoom. That's nice. That gives you a little bit more flexibility. You don't have to stand too far away, but you don't have to be too close. Kind of a nice intermediary space that you can get with that. Also, we're getting autofocus fixing. So there's been some autofocus stuff that people have not been too crazy, too happy about, and we've been waiting for this fix for a while. It seems like that's also supposed to be in this update. So this update's already rolling out Indonesia, Malaysia, over in parts of Asia. Probably beginning of this week it'll start rolling out in Europe. Maybe by the end of the next week we might see it here in the States. But it is coming, and it is substantial. Lots of security patch stuff, lots of updates on that front. But like I said, we've got the autofocus fix. That's coming. That's really cool. We've got the 2x portrait mode, and they've done some fixing with the night mode stuff. So night mode processing, there have been some complaints since it's come out about maybe some artifacts or maybe some pixelation or not quite as good as they expected it to be. So they've kind of changed things up maybe with the algorithm for how it processes night mode. That's also coming. So that's cool too. They've got some improvements to One UI animations, so that's good. Also, transitions are supposed to be smoother. This should make it seem a little bit smoother and faster when you use the operating system. And subtle improvements to the haptics. So there might be slight change there, maybe fine-tuning it a little bit more. I think that's all that I got. But yeah, a couple cool things there. But overall, I really like to see this. I really like to see the dedication from Samsung that they put the product out. This isn't like, okay, they waited 6 months to address something. They waited 8 months. They've been pretty Johnny on the spot with this stuff since it's come out. And ever since I sent my Sony phone back to Sony, well, mine, it was theirs, but they did let me keep it for a month, so that was nice. Well, I'm back using my S23 Ultra as my primary phone right now. And I took it to New York City with me, took a lot of photos with it. There's a lot of great things going for this phone, and I've been really happy with the camera already. I mean, it's one of those things you can make a very arguable position that it has fantastic camera. The camera's good, the battery is top notch. Even when I was out up and about like 8 in the morning till 8 in the evening, out walking around, taking pictures, little video clips, never once did I get even close to my battery dying. So I've been really, really happy with the battery life on this. And that's one great thing. I'm calling this one the battery king, at least based off my experience. I've heard some folks say that the new Motorola Edge 40 or something like that, or the Edge Plus, I think, has good battery life. I've asked Motorola if they'll send me one. They don't have any inventory right now. At least that's what they tell me. Hopefully they're not lying, but whatever. It's not the first time. Hopefully at some point in time I can get them to send me one and I can actually test that out. Because I'm very excited to test out the Edge Plus for 2023 because after the price drops, all the great holiday sales we had with the Edge Plus 2022 last year, it ended up being a fantastic phone. So I hope at some point to test that out. But based off of all the phones I've tested so far, the S23 Ultra, best battery life for 2023, fantastic processing. It's more powerful than the other guys too because they have the specific Snapdragon for Samsung. Their processors actually clocked like 0.2 gigahertz higher than the competition, rolls in at like 3.36 gigahertz. So super powerful. And then it starts, of course, with 8 gigabytes of RAM. I have the 12 gigabyte version because I upgraded to the 512. But that's great because you get the baseline storage is now 256. And I don't really have any heartache over 8 gigs of RAM. I think it's fine. It's one of those things where it's a it's kind of like a mental upsell where they try to get people and go, oh, well, if you bump up, you get 12 gigabytes of RAM when really you're never even touching the 8 you have. But that's neither here nor there. Different story. Of course, you get the S Pen. The pricing, being able to get, it's been on sale for $974 for basically like the last month. We went through Mother's Day. We went through Memorial Day. We're coming up on Father's Day. It's this weekend. There have been some good sales on it. So, yeah, $11.99, it's expensive. But when you take a look at what all you get in this phone, and then you take a look at the fact it's $974 over at Best Buy, I've got a link for that in the description if you're interested, that's a really good deal. And also you get 4 years of operating system updates, 5 years of security patches. So we're running Android 13, One UI 5. It's the best, cleanest, smoothest version of One UI I think we've ever used. And of course the software for Android 13 is really good. It's like a far cry away with what we ended up with Android 12 last year. So from the camera perspective, like you've got this big beautiful screen, 6.8 inch, 2 times AMOLED, 120 hertz refresh rate, all that great stuff, Quad HD plus resolution, super high brightness. It's a fantastic phone. And what's nice is I get a lot of comments from people who are like, hey, I watched your video, I saw it was on sale, I bought this, or I listened to what you had to say and I've been really happy. I don't think I've had a phone that I've recommended to people or I've talked about positively saying, hey, if you're interested, you should pick it up. And I don't think I've had so many people come back before and say, hey, this has been a fantastic phone. I've really enjoyed it. And I love to see that because I think it's a good phone. But when other people buy it and they come back and it's like, hey, I love this phone. I've really enjoyed it. The battery life has been great. The cameras are good. The screen's beautiful. Love the S Pen, all that stuff. It's really nice to get that confirmation that comes back and say, yeah, we're all on the same page. And largely, it seems like most people that buy this phone are really excited about it and really happy. Plus the fact that it's going to be good for a long time. 5 years. 5 years this phone will be supported. That's security patches. So, yeah, you're going to be covered. And I actually think this phone will go the distance. I've talked about this in a few previous videos. I didn't really have a whole lot of confidence the last couple of years that a phone from Samsung would last 3, 4, 5 years. But now, I feel like it can. The Snapdragon 8 Generation 2 has been like a breath of fresh air when it comes to Android, when it comes to these phones, especially after last year. It's amazing how much just a couple little changes in a chip can make or break the experience for these phones. So the Snapdragon 8 Generation 2, everything else is clean on the internals. It's running great. It's fantastic battery life. And then you just get a great experience. And I've been using, again, like I said, I've got my main SIM card in here. Been using it for the last week. I've had it off the charger since this morning. Been using it all day. Still have 30% battery left, and it's like 1:30 in the morning right now. So I took it off the charger at like 8 o'clock in the morning yesterday. It's 1:30 in the morning now, still have 30% left. And for me, as like a super power user, that's really good. So yes, it's been out 4 months. It's gotten better basically every month since it's come out. Samsung's been very dedicated to kind of fixing some things, fine-tuning it, making it a little bit better one day at a time. And I think it's a better product than when it started, and it reflects. And I think that's great if you're looking to get this phone, if you own this phone, that's great news across the board. And then if you're interested at $974, fantastic price point. So yeah, the best just keeps getting better. I think that's probably a good way to say it, and Samsung's doing a great job here. But again, I got to give kudos to Google. 2 months in a row, they have beaten Samsung with getting the security patch put out. But with the fixes coming on this, they've been coming for a while, and we're also looking at a 2.2 gigabyte file. That's a lot of fixes, a lot of updates, a lot of changes. Maybe give them a little bit of a pass this month. We'll see what happens next month. We'll see if they beat Google next month. But yeah, I like what I'm seeing. I've really enjoyed the experience. I do miss the Sony. I gotta say, I do miss the Sony. Hopefully I'll get one back soon enough. I've got mine pre-ordered. But for the here and now, great phone, 4 months later, top notch. You can't go wrong if it's something you're looking to get. So that's all I've got in this video. If you have any questions or comments, please, of course, go to the comment section. I'll do my best to get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.